I hope you have already gone through hepatitis in other subject also. Like I think this has been taught in microbiology, no? Has it been taught hepatitis?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So so today we'll be talking about, my topic is hepatitis A and E. Okay. Now, do you know any similarity between hepatitis A and E? How they are similar? What is the similarity between hepatitis A and E?
Fecal-oral transmission.
Yes, I know they are the fecal-oral transmitted one. So when we talk about hepatitis, hepatitis means it is the inflammatory condition of the liver. Okay, it is the inflammatory condition of the liver, and the causes of the hepatitis can be both of the infectious causes and also non-infectious causes. So the infectious causes of this hepatitis is viral, bacterial, parasitic, and fungal. And out of this infectious hepatitis, the commonest one is the viral hepatitis. So we have to know about this. And the another is the non-infectious causes of the hepatitis are because of the alcohol, okay, overdose of the alcohol consumption, and drugs. Some drugs leads into hepatitis, and few of the autoimmune disease and metabolic disease also lead to hepatitis. So as we'll be talking about the viral hepatitis, okay. So in this viral hepatitis, it is of the 6 types, okay. One is A, B, C, D, E, and G. So out of this, the G, okay, G type of the hepatitis, it is rarely causing this hepatitis G virus. It rarely causes the hepatitis, whereas hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, and are the common type of the hepatitis. So out of this also, this hepatitis A and E, as you said, they are transmitted by the fecal-oral route, whereas other like B, C, and D are by the blood and the body fluid. Okay, they are transmitted by the blood and the body fluid. While presenting the hepatitis, okay, the hepatitis can be presented as asymptomatic condition also, or they can be in the symptomatic phase also, whereas they can be present as the fulminant type of the infection. So have you ever heard of the fulminant hepatitis? Do you know, have you ever gone through this fulminant hepatitis? Do you know what is that? Q, fulminant hepatitis भनेको. Yes, I know. What happens is this fulminant hepatitis means when the liver, okay, liver begins to like go into like liver failure very quickly. Okay, like it can be occurring within like 6 hours, 7 hours ke interval ma, it can get into the liver failure. It is like a rapid damage, and this fulminant type of the infection can occur if the liver is without any pathology. Okay, even though there is no any pathology in the liver, it can lead into fulminant infection because of this hepatitis viruses. Okay, and whereas the hepatitis B, C, and D. Okay, this type of the hepatitis can lead into like a very progressive chronic liver diseases. Okay, it can lead into a chronic disease like cirrhosis of liver, or it can also go to the carcinoma. Okay, these hepatitis viruses are also one of the cause of the liver CA. Okay, hepatocellular carcinoma causes, and the commonest one is B, C, and D. Okay, not A and E. Okay, A and E don't lead to this thing, but B, C, and D lead into the chronic liver diseases like CA and cirrhosis of the liver. So, like we know, there are different type of the hepatitis. So we have known about the names also. So there are different types of the hepatitis, and this hepatitis have their own mode of the transmission, their own like severity of the illness, and their own geographical distribution and prevention method. Each hepatitis has got its own unique mode of transmission and everything. Okay, its own different thing. So whereas in world around like 325 million people are living with hepatitis infection. Okay, there are so many people who are like living with the hepatitis infection. Do you know like Teku Hospital, Sukaras Infectious Hospital? Have you heard that hospital name? Like most of the like patient of this COVID-19 are staying in the Teku hospital, so while I was a PG student, okay, while I did my MD student, I was allotted in the Teku hospital also. Like there were so many people, there were so many patient of hepatitis B and C, so many patients who used to come in the OPD. And what I feel was the people like whoever were having a tattoo, whoever were having a tattoo in their body, most of the like hepatitis B and C, not only most of the, almost all, okay, almost all the patient of hepatitis B and C had tattoo in their body. Just think, okay. So yes, and this hepatitis B and C, okay, this hepatitis B and C are one of the major causes of the severe illness and death. I won't be saying. Now I'll be talking about the hepatitis A, okay. Now, hepatitis A are usually presented in the mild form. Okay, they are usually a mild cases of hepatitis A virus, and usually most of the people, they make a full recovery of this disease, and later on they just generate the immunity of this hepatitis A virus infection. That means that once the person is like once the person have this hepatitis A virus infection, then they create the lifelong immunity. And this hepatitis A virus infection can also be severe and life-threatening. Okay, it can be like that. And most people living like in the developing countries with all those poor sanitation and hygiene, they are usually infected with this virus. And this WHO has estimated that hepatitis A caused around 7,000, okay, around approximately 7,000 deaths in 2016, whereas this means like around 0.5% of the total hepatitis death, okay, out of all those people who died of hepatitis death, hepatitis A lead to around 0.5% of the mortality. So now talking about the agent, talking about the agent of this disease, the hepatitis A virus is the enterovirus, and it belongs to this Picornaviridae family. Okay, and it is the single-stranded RNA virus. Okay, and this virus is resistant to heat and chemical, okay, and can survive to more than 20 weeks in water. And this virus is not killed, okay, it does not die by the use of the chlorine solution. Okay, whenever we use this Piyush or another water safe or something like that, whenever we use all those chlorine solution, it does not kill the virus. Okay, hepatitis virus is not killed by the chlorine solution, whereas this virus, it withstands heat at 60 degrees Celsius, but at 100 degrees Celsius it is destroyed. Okay, it does not like it does not there won't be any like changes in 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, it won't die, there will be nothing at 60 degrees Celsius, whereas this virus is dead at around 100 degrees Celsius. So the reservoir of the infection of this virus virus is the human being. Okay, and the mode of transmission is fecal-oral route. This is the main one. Okay, fecal-oral route is the main, whereas it can be parental route and also sexual or among the homosexual males also it can get transmitted. And the incubation period of this hepatitis A virus is 15 to 50 days. And also remember, in hepatitis E also it is the same. The incubation period of both hepatitis A and E is same, that is 15 to 50 days. So its communicability period, okay, its communicability period is 2 weeks before to like 1 week after the presence of the jaundice, appearance of the jaundice. It will be the communicability period. So now talking about the host factor, okay, it can occur in the it can occur in the people of any age group, and both male and female are have this disease equally, and this disease is mainly high among the children. Okay, it is highly present among the children, that is the age group of 5 to 15 years, that is the common age group. And talking about this disease, okay, the severity of this disease increases with the age. Okay, so as the person gets adult or elderly, the severity of this disease is more. And during the pregnancy, it carries a high mortality, and there is no any transplacental transmission. Okay, now talking about the pathology of this disease, when the virus, okay, when the virus, they just enter the body through the oral route, the virus, they enter the circulation and it results in the viremia in the blood. Okay, there will be the numerous virus in the blood, and then what happens is the virus will start to affect the liver. Okay, it affects the liver, but it also affects other organs like kidneys, small intestine, and spleen. It also affects them. And what happens is it starts creating the degeneration and necrosis of the hepatocytes. Okay, degenerates the hepatocytes, and later on what happens is this degeneration is followed by the regeneration, following the production of the antibodies. Okay, as the antibodies is produced, the degeneration will convert into the regeneration of the hepatocytes. But what happens in the fulminant cases? Okay, fulminant hepatitis is there will be severe or extensive necrosis of the liver lobules and resulting into the hepatic failure. And what happens is during the degeneration of the hepatocyte, liver function is affected, resulting into excessive bilirubin. Okay, there will be named with the presence of the icteric. And because of this inflammation of the liver, there will be the hepatomegaly. There will be that enlarged size of the liver, and because of the enlarged liver, it will generates the pressure effect, and mainly in the stomach. Okay, it will create the pressure in the stomach. So that is the pathology of this disease. Now talking about the clinical feature, have you understood till now? Okay, problems are, is there any problem? Is there any problem? Is there any queries? Is there any queries? So okay, we'll just continue now. So now talking about the clinical features of this disease in the like pre-icteric stage. Okay, there will be like fever. Okay, the patient will complain of chills, fatigue, malaise, headache, body ache. Right? So these are the typical features of the viral disease. Right? Fever, chills, fatigue, malaise, all these things, headache, and then also anorexia, vomiting, nausea, and there will be the presence of high colored urine. It will be like high colored, dark colored, and light colored stool. Okay, the stool will be of the light color in this pre-icteric stage. Whereas in icteric stage, there will be the presence of jaundice. Okay, you can see the patient getting yellow. Okay, presenting as a yellowish color. So the patient will be having jaundice, and there will be like hepatomegaly. Liver will be enlarged, and also when we just palpate the liver, it will be tender and soft. And then comes the stage of the recovery. Okay, in the stage of recovery, usually after the 6 to 8 weeks, inflammatory process comes down, and there will be like regeneration of the liver cells. As I told you, I know antibodies are formed. There will be regeneration of the liver cells, and the size of the liver will also come back to the normal. Okay, and the icterus will also disappears, and there will be the change in the color of the urine and stool. It becomes normal. Okay, but whereas in this phase, in cases of the fulminant hepatitis, there will be like a hepatic coma, and the patient can die also. So these are some pictures of hepatitis A symptoms, yellowish color, hepatomegaly, okay, and change in the stools, stomach ache because of the pressure effect, as the liver is enlarged, or there is a pressure effect, there will be stomach ache, okay, change in the urine, and fever, like that, okay. Now, talking about the diagnosis, talking about the diagnosis, this is the viral disease. You know that this is a viral disease. So the thing we'll be doing is the best, and the best one is always the serological test. Okay, we'll look after the antibodies of the immunoglobulin M of hepatitis A virus, and also the antibodies of IgG. Okay, so antibodies of IgM and IgG is the main thing we'll look after. So talking about the immunoglobulin IgM antibodies, it is the like gold standard for the detection of this virus. Okay, and it becomes detectable like within 5 to 10 days before the onset of symptoms, and can persist for up to 6 months after infection. Whereas this immunoglobulin B antibodies is like it appears only in the course of infection, and also like once the person is infected, once the person is immune, there will be like increase of this antibodies of IgG. Okay, remember like that. Once the person is already infected, past history of the infection or or the person is immunized, this antibodies of IgG will be always raised. So this is the gold standard investigations. So another is PCR. Now what we will look in PCR, do you know PCR le herne ke garcha? What does PCR do?
Detect viral DNA or
Yes, I know. But the main work of the PCR is to look after the gene of the organism. That is the main thing. It will look after the gene. That is very expensive. You have been hearing, in this COVID-19 also, PCR is done, and this is very expensive investigation. So over here we'll look after the reverse transcriptase, the RNA, how do you say, we will see in the PCR. And another thing is in this liver function test, there will be like aminotransferase and alkaline phosphatase, and bilirubin will be excessively elevated. Okay, it will be in the high range in this hepatitis A virus. So these are the different investigation we can do for this disease. Now coming to this prevention and control part. Okay, now what we can do is, one is we can control the reservoir. Okay, another is we can go with the control of the transmission, and another is control of the susceptible host, and next one is definitely the vaccine. Okay, so the next one is the vaccine. So first of all, we'll go with the control of the reservoir. So control of the reservoir. So like usually, the if it is like very difficult to control this type of disease, is like usually difficult to control because of the subclinical cases. There are so many type of the subclinical cases, so it will be like difficult to control this disease. And when we know about this disease, the main thing is notification. Now notification भनेको के हो? What do you understand by notification? Notification भने के हो? Ashish? Ashish?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you understand by notification of any disease?
त्यो इन्फर्मेसन दिनु पर्यो
कसलाई इन्फर्म
Disease को-
गर्ने नि? कसलाई इन्फर्म गर्ने?
पेसेन्ट पार्टीलाई
Huh?
पेसेन्ट्सहरूलाई
Is it so? Yes, I know. We have to inform to the government, So, like for example, in this COVID-19, this is the best example. Like for example, if there is any cases found today, from the PCR report, any cases found in Kathmandu, then we have to report into the government, Ministry of Health. We have to inform. So that is what is notification. Okay. But like for example, if there is PCR machine in NMC, and one of the positive cases come to the NMC, okay, in the blood test from the PCR, if like it comes positive, then our hospital have to inform to the ministry. Okay, that is what is notification is all about, right? So we have to do the notification. I know the patient require a proper bed rest. There is like myalgia, arthralgia, so bed rest is required. And then this is the like viral disease. I know the stool in the stool there is presence of the virus. So there is proper disinfection of the feces is required. I know. So what we will do is we'll use 0.5% of the sodium hypochlorite. Okay, we have to disinfect the feces before just throwing that. Okay, the patient are asked to just pass the stool or urine in the pan. Okay, and we have to disinfect that, and then only we have to dispose the stool and urine. Okay, so whenever we require whenever we do the disinfection of the like feces and urine, we usually use 0.5% of the sodium hypochlorite. Now another is control of the transmission. Mainly this is like this is transmitted through the contaminated water. So we have to like treat the water properly. Okay, we have to treat the water properly, and always remember chlorine solution does not kill the organism hepatitis virus present in the water. Okay, we have to do the other processes. So one is that, and we have to maintain the personal and community hygiene. Okay, we have to do the proper waste disposal. Okay, and use of sterilized needle and syringes. So this is like the control of the transmission. Now coming to the control of the susceptible host. Okay, now what do you understand by susceptible host? Kyo yo susceptible host one hai? What do you understand by susceptible host? Susceptible host भनेको के हो? Yes, कसले लेखेछ असला एकछिन है. Who might have a chance of getting disease, होइन, like about contact ma aako people, okay, like the one of the person is infected and the other people who has come in contact with that person, they are like susceptible host. There's chances of having the hepatitis A virus, okay, so they are the susceptible host bhanera bujhne. So what we can do is, or like also people, you know, like people who are about to travel in the epidemic or endemic area, okay, like travelers, I'm talking about the travelers, okay, they are also the susceptible host, okay, whenever like people wants to travel to some area, but in that area there is like high cases of the hepatitis A virus, then we can say them also as a susceptible host. Okay, so for this thing we can use the immunoglobulin, okay, use of human normal immunoglobulin in early incubation period or before the exposure, okay, pre-exposure or post-exposure are there, you know. So it is effective in 90% of the cases and is given 1 to 2 weeks before the exposure. Okay, so in pre-exposure prophylaxis, like usually to the travelers, I know, like up to 1 month after travel, I know, if the person is visiting in some areas like for 1 month, then the dose is 0.1 ml per kg. So if the person is traveling like up to 2 months in that area, then 0.2 ml per kg, and 2 months of travel or longer, it will be like 0.2 ml per kg, and we have to repeat this immunoglobulin every 2 months. Okay, whereas post exposure prophylaxis, like we talk about that, you know, post exposure prophylaxis, it will be the required dose is 0.1 ml per kg. Please read this, this is not present in your book, okay, I've taken this from CTC. Okay, so if you want, you can go through the CTC also, right? Now, another is the vaccine, and prevention and control. So the main thing is the vaccine. So hepatitis A virus vaccine is an inactivated or the killed vaccine. Okay, and it should be given in the 2 doses. Okay, it should be provided in 2 doses, that is like 6 months apart. And for the like 1 year to 18 years of the people will be giving 0.5 ml, whereas more than 19 years will be providing 1 ml. Okay, and we have to provide this, as I told you, 2 doses. And children are